goodness, Sibling Rivalry, mother tucking listeners, y'all are in for a treat because honestly, I call you the queen of drag race because there is so much folklore about Valentina. And I am so happy, y'all. We have Valentina for Sibling Rivalry. Hey, girl.
Woo! And the
Diva, how you
crowd
doing?
roars. I am so good. I'm doing good. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm doing good because I'm really happy to be here. I got a DM from Bob being like, hey, what's the tea? I need you to do me a favor. I was like, okay, girl, let me show up. And here I am in Bob's studio.
In the studio, in his lovely apartment up in well, let me not dox. You have a Monet. You can't say where I live. But yeah. So Valentina, I remember the first time I met you. It was the middle of season 10, and Shangela and Bunny were co-hosting or something. Work the World, and one of them got sick. So they called me to like sub-host like Work the World, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna like meet like because I had met Violet before, but I hadn't met you. And two other people on the tour, I was like so excited. And then when I met you, I can honestly say, y'all, Valentina was the nicest fucking person to me on that tour. Valentina was like, my love, do you need help figuring out choreo, like where you go and stuff? Because Brandon just threw me into the tour. I was just like, okay, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And Valentina was helping me figure out the show because Brandon Voss did not. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never tell you thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, Yamon. You know where all that came from?
What?
That all came from a place of just being like, oh my God, let me help her because it happened once to me before too. I was I was still on, season 9 was still on, and I was somehow in New York. They invited me to go do show Work the World somewhere in Canada. And these were like the glory days where the lineup was like Willem and Alyssa and Bob and like Alaska, like these were all the people. Shangela, they were all there. Detox, like this was like this like these queens, and I was like, I was not gonna miss the opportunity to like insert myself, even if I didn't have the experience, even if I didn't have the number or the dancers or all that.
That's
like
how I felt. I was like, I have to do this. I can't say no.
Let me jump on board. And I went. It was so chaotic because the show already had its flow. The girls had their numbers with their graphics and their costumes and their dancers. And they knew what they were doing. They had their experience. And there I was just plugging myself in, like with my one little, like shaking a wig out my bag, like throwing an outfit on, like telling the DJ, just push play and let me just flutter around. Do my number. And definitely I was very lost, like with the group numbers and everything. And so I was like, when you came around, I was like, let me not let this girl feel what I felt.
I appreciate that.
And everybody was lovely and everybody was nice. It's just everything was moving so fast that I was like, when you came around, I was like, oh my God, like she's like, I have to help her. Like, let me help her because I know what it feels like. Girl. So, but was that the first time we met? Because I think I did a gig. Didn't I do a gig in New York with Aja where it was like in a basement, and then we were like trapped in like the refrigerator, like the freezer for a moment, and I was like fully having like a meltdown. Wouldn't that be the first time?
I don't think that was, I worked that gig, but I wasn't there that night. That was when I think both of y'all did Monster. Y'all did Look Queen at Monster, I think. And that's in the basement. And like, you had to go through like the secret, like little backdoor thing. Girl, I cannot believe.
Were you there?
Stuff like that. I wasn't there that night. I don't know why I wasn't there. Okay. I don't know why I wasn't there. But but that fucking gig, let me tell y'all, I am so grateful for, all of us, right? We're all grateful for the gigs that happened before Drag Race, and honestly, some of them that are still like that post Drag Race. But some of these gigs, I look back, I'm like, I cannot believe I did shit like that, like standing in a muddy roach-filled basement in a freezer trying to stay cool because you're melting because it's summer and you're going to, and then you have to pop out on stage and act like none of that happened and give the children a fierce performance, because if you don't, they're going to go on Reddit or talk about you on Instagram like, I cannot believe that. So it's like you're in caught between a rock and a hard place, trying to do the best you got, trying to do the best with what you got. But it is what it is, girl.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those shows where I was like out of my environment. Like I was never used to like my lace popping up, or like my eyelash falling off of my face, or like my eyebrows like coming down and like a bead with like, you know, the cottage cheese texture of like my then blocked eyebrow was like lifting. And, you know, I just had never experienced that. So, you know, being in the basement of New York and like performing where you felt like literally like, you know, when you like go up to like glass or a window and you go, and then it's like all misty, like those were the walls. Those were the walls. And then after the show, I go into like a huge like freezer refrigerator, and I just sit there and just like unleash my wrath of like, why is this happening? You know, in the early humble beginnings of my drag career, it was definitely fun. I remember I even have an instance like where I can remember that happened to me, and very few times. Like it hasn't happened that much, but one other time it happened was in Honolulu at Scarlet.
Scarlet, the hottest club in America.
I went there, and I don't think I'll ever be invited back. I had a really big tantrum,
Valentina is not exaggerating. This club feels like it is 9,000 degrees. They kind of try to put some ACs in, but they're kind of pumping in hot air. Like it's so hot, the walls are just sweating with condensation.
And listen, they were so kind to me, and the audience was amazing, and the whole experience was amazing. It's just that I'd never experienced that, and I totally like had a tantrum, and I probably will never go back because of it. But it was a pretty funny tantrum. Like I'm pretty sure like time has passed. Like, you know, I heard now that they have a lovely air conditioning unit now in the dressing room.
You made that happen for us, Valentina. Thank you. Well, hopefully maybe one day I'll get invited back to Hawaii and Honolulu. Like, I feel really bad. Like, let me just take this moment to say, like, I am so sorry for having had that tantrum. Please forgive me. If ever I can go back to Honolulu, I promise I won't be that way. Like, I've learned and I've grown, you know. There's a thin line, because here's the thing, because sometimes, right, I go out to do a gig and they meet me, and like sometimes stuff is not up to par, or I just like let it slide. And then they always like, oh my God, you're so easy to work with. And I'm like, well, maybe I should be more demanding. Maybe I should like speak up more when stuff isn't okay. Because if you're coming back to me telling me, oh, this thing wasn't okay and this was a mess and da da da, but you're so easy to work with. I'm like, no. I tell me and Patty, my sister, I'm like, I need to be more like, this is not okay. Fix this thing. I mean, there are some things that I do that when it's really out of control, I'm like, absolutely not. But most things I kind of like let slide, and I kind of kick myself in the ass. I'm like, bitch, I should speak up more and say like, no, that's not okay, motherfucker. Like, fix this problem. I need to be more like you.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, like, I think a lot of like my behavior in the past had a lot to do with the fact that I was like starving myself. Like, I was not eating back in those times. Like, I remember back in that day, I was doing this whole like not eating, which I'm not proud of, and like tanning beds and being as tan as possible, have my teeth be as white as possible. Like, that's what I was going for. And the kind of travel that I had would be causing for me to only ever eat like Starbucks at the airport. Or fast food was being offered to me at 3 a.m. And so I definitely think like my mental health was not in a place where I'd probably be treating people very nice, because I wasn't doing a very good job taking care of myself. So like, you know, there's a lot of things that I've learned since then. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, like now I have like an entire like infrastructure of how and when I eat and how I travel and how I ingest my food and what I do eat and how I prioritize that, even contractually, you know. Before I was just floating around, no assistant, doing things like shaking out the same wig and hoping that, I could just spray away all the flyaways and, smile real big and nobody would know that my mental health wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
But I think now it's like navigating, getting through these things in a way where it's like I have a team and I've grown and I've learned things, and there are certain environments that I want to enter now, like in this place, versus where I was at back then. And like you said, like you want to put your foot down and like express more of what your needs and wants are. But you're great, babe. Like you're amazing. You're such an inspiration, such a professional. Like your personality and being from New York is taking you so far. That like work ethic that you have, is so admirable. And I've always admired like your personality and how you've persevered. Like you and Bob having the show is so incredible. Like I have so many friends that they tune into this show and they say that this is like the most entertaining show out of Drag Race,
Thank you. Thank you. So I do want to, going back just a little bit. So there was this whole, and I want to because I never asked you about this. And we can cut this out if you don't like this. But like when the whole red Eminem thing came out, people swore Valentina is a red Eminem girl. She is the one. Like you got villainized for this fucking thing. Come to find out, I've heard through the grapevine that it's not even true.
Well, it's such a complex scenario. I mean, the play Nashville, right? We've all been,
all been to play Nashville. That's
the
girl, y'all.
At
that's
the time,
stage, just like that big white wall and the Queens. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen it on Instagram.
And at the time, they'd just gone through the previous season, and then they were now going through season 9 girls. And the way that play works is that they have their cast. They're all professionals. A lot of them adhere by the rules of the pageant system, and they're a cast where they have very strict structure. And I think a lot of us Drag Race girls came around with our demands and our careers and building from what the chaos of our life was, which was different from, I think, what the cast would be going through at play. And we were coming through with our diva antics and our demands, and each person is very different, right? Yeah. So by the time that Eminem's happened, so like the girls from season 9, we'd already come through play, each one of us having something monstrous about our demands or our diva antics. Like none of us are innocent. Like we all have something where we're like, okay, like I'm gonna need this, and then they're gonna respond like, damn, this bitch is the fucking diva. Who the fuck does she think she is? Right? Yeah. Which I think it's cool, but like with the complaints that were going on were not just mine. Like it involved like pieces of many other people's experience. I have shit on my writer. It's crazy to me when I have stuff on my writer that because y'all don't know this. So not just drag queens, all performers have writers, right? Saucy Santana had the whole thing that blew up recently. Like every performer does, and it's the things that you need in the town that contractually, the venues, clubs, theaters, whoever, they're contractually bound to. And when they agree to bring you on, they're agreeing to provide you with those things. So contractually, if I have certain things in my rider, if they don't have certain things, contractually, I can say, I'm not performing and you still have to pay me. Like technically we can do that because as a performer, it is our right to have these things. Like it's not being a diva. Like they agreed to provide these things. And there have been 2 situations where Patty and I have had to leave a gig because they did not provide things in my rider that I need for the show. Monet, the reality is like, it's so unglamorous to tell you this, but literally on my rider is paper towels, water, a table, proper lighting. That's it. Like I have a simple rider. The thing that I did request is like, oh baby, I'm not doing no meet and greet after the show. And I honestly, I kind of think I might be the pioneer of that. In the Drag Race realm, at least, because like I came through with that, and they were like, that's where I was a diva, and that's where I changed things up. and I changed up things for the entire cast and how they do things there. And, I kind of like regret it now, and I need to now I know, and I know, and I'm aware of things. And if I could be guilty of anything, it was that I changed the meet and greet to be before the show. Right. And so, like,
wait, Val, we're gonna take a short little intermission and tell us more about the meet and greets, because honestly, I personally am grateful for that. I love that. It changed my life. And we are back. Yeah, so I do all of my meet and greets before the show. Y'all, you do not want a picture of me after the show. I am oily. My hair is not like what it was. And like, you do not want a picture with me personally. Also, I am a sweaty queen. There are a lot of queens that stay temperate. I get out there and I talk for 5 minutes and I am sweaty. I just don't want to see pictures like that. So if you are the pioneer of that, girl, thank you for the pre-show meet and greet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, it's something where it's like the makeup is fresh, the energy is there. Like, you just put the heel on, so
Yes.
might as well present towards your fans, the best version of yourself versus the raggedy, like, falling apart, like I just threw my back out, Not that I dance like that, but but yeah, like,
buck, bitch, our lip sync, Val, you were bucking, girl. You destroyed me on that fucking lip sync, man. You did. When you started doing the fucking chicken head, I was watching you. I was like, oh my God, she is tearing it up on stage. You fucked it up.
Wow, I am so like, I'm so happy that we get to talk about this right now, because I don't think we've ever had a conversation about this.
We never have. But you fucking killed it, girl. Like, you murdered me in the lip sync. Like, watching it back, because you get this too. They tag us in this stuff periodically, and I was like, oh, let me watch this again, and I'm like, yeah, no crumbs. She ate.
I am so, like, in love with that having been, like, my story arc. Like another Ariana Grande song. Like, it just had my name all over it. And I was just like, is this a setup? I like it. And this is the moment. This is a moment. And I'm just like, so, like, I had, like, prepared to lip sync for my life in my hotel room with all my might. I wanted to like be in the moment. I wanted to be really present, but I did know that I had to, out of nowhere, pull out all the tricks and antics, because I'd seen it on season 9 and I'd seen it from the one and only Peppermint. And I saw it from Peppermint. I said, I knew what a good lip sync was, and you just have to go full all out with the moves that people like. It's going to get the crowd, or it's going to get RuPaul, and it's going to get everybody.
Yeah.
And then I've seen, like, Peppermint, like, start to do, like, the Running Man out of nowhere. And it was automatically, like, that was a hit, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need my version of that. What am I going to do? And then I was like, let me take it back to middle school, girl. And this is where I'm going to literally date myself. But, in middle school, at the middle school dance, I went to school here in Hollywood, and I had friends of all walks of life. But at the time, it was like the wobble, the chicken head, the crip walk, the clown walk, the sea walk, the Harlem shake, the shoulder leans, like all those moves that were being done. And then reggaeton, like I think Gasolina had just come out, and and in my middle school, it was full chaos, because there was not enough faculty to separate all the young children humping each other to reggaeton music.
Girl,
they were grinding.
Still like that? Are kids still dancing like that in school? I
They
wonder.
probably are. They were grinding, and they were macking, and they were making out.
What's macking?
Macking is when they would be kissing.
Oh, got it.
And the children were going at it, and there was not enough faculty to separate these children from feeling their fantasy to Gasolina. But there, I learned how to do the Harlem Shake, the wobble, all these moves. And I was like, you know what? Out of nowhere, I pulled out those moves. And they're very chaotic.
No, but it worked.
They're very chaotic, but they came from a place of like, I have to pull out every trick possible to win this.
You killed.
But in that moment, I was just like, I'm gonna give it my all, and I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna go ham. And I think that was the moment to go. I mean, not aside from the fact that I started spinning psychotically out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from. I really don't know where that came from. But people have told me jokes that like it reminds them of like those toys in the 90s where like you pull the string and
my god, then they turn around.
But definitely that was a moment for us on All Stars. Like maybe we should talk about All Stars because there's a lot of All Stars I don't even remember. Like
I don't either. I really don't either. I remember walking in. I remember when everyone came in and I like sized. I was like, wow. When I saw the entire cast, my first thought was this is going to be a good fucking season. It was great fucking queens. Like it was you, me, Naomi Smalls, Latrice, Trinity, like all these like really fierce ass fucking queens. I was like, this is gonna be a good season. So at least we're not gonna be like a shitty like like season one. Like I was like, I know this cast of girls is going to be fierce, and I think in my opinion, maybe I'm biased. I think All Stars 4 stands up as one of the best All Star seasons so far. Like I think All Stars 2 is top. And I think we're like an All-Star 7 and we're like third in my humble opinion. I really do.
You do?
Yes. You don't think so?
I think any season I've been on is the most sickening, but that's just how I navigate my alternate reality. But I definitely think that season 2 is incredible. I think season 1 it's a great cast. It's just, they hadn't really found out like what was like just putting people in teams already. I'm like, girl, no. Like I wanted to see a Tammy Brown defend Tammy Brown, not have to defend Tammy Brown and Nina. Nina Flowers. Like I wanted to see Nina Flowers fully like revamp themselves, but then they had to be put in groups that was the thing that I was just kind of like, oh my god, as a viewer and as a fan, I was just kind of like confused by. But then you get to All Stars 4 with us, and girl, like if you tune into those interviews that we were doing, they're a mess.
Are they? Why?
Yeah, like what was that interview we did with Carson Kressley?
We did an interview with him? I don't remember.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of star power in that interview. There's like a lot of big personalities. There was this interview we did where it was like I mean, as
like
it
on
is
the show or press.
The press.
Oh,
you remember?
Press. That's what you're saying. Got you.
I think it's in those moments like you're able to see like the full like potential of a cast and the star power, and like just having like Gia there with all her drama and controversy and stirring
I wish she
things
stayed
up.
longer. I'm so mad she got eliminated when she did. I wish she stayed longer. Gia and I, we've had our own shit online, whatever. Mm-hmm. Gia is so entertaining for me to watch on TV. I'm obsessed with watching her on TV. I wish she stayed longer.
Yeah, she's a great villain, isn't she?
Jacob, what happened?
I have 2 questions. Mm-hmm. So, the Build Series interview with Carson, there was that one moment where he was asking about RuPaul's looks on the runway, and Farrah was like, "Aren't they all the same?" Do you remember that?
No.
That was like one of the iconic moments in the Build. Farrah was like, "Yeah, but aren't all of her looks the same?" I think it was Farrah, and everyone gagged.
And then there's the one with someone said something about Naomi, and Naomi said blue eyes, blonde hair, and we were all like. Oh.
We were all gagged. We were all gagged. We were all gagged by that.
There are conspiracy theories about who is singing in the promo, who's saying all Hail RuPaul and who is not in the All-Star promo.
Oh my god. Has that even been spoken of?
We're speaking about it right now.
Oh my god, Monet.
So we do the promo in New York City. And there's also about the promo, they're like, Valentina took 12 hours to get ready. It's like, so...
That's true, but we did all go in order, and there were 12. How many of us were there?
There were 10 of us.
Yeah, and I just was like, you know what? Just you know, you guys all have fun. Just let all the other girls go first, and then I'll go last, and everything will work out fine.
So y'all, Valentina, what time did you get? Valentina probably got there like 8 a.m. I don't think you did yours until like 5 or like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Valentina, do you enjoy taking that long to get ready? To me, I would be exhausted.
I love it. I love it. When I first started like constructing and creating Valentina, it was like, okay, like practice the perfect eyebrow covering, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, so I would spend hours just doing that. And so like, I'm so detail oriented. And then it would be like, move on. I'm going to learn how to contour my nose. And then I would practice that for hours. So it's like and then I would practice in a tiny little mirror, like a tiny. Uh-huh. And so I'm just a very detail oriented person. I want people to consider me beautiful up close, you know?
Word. And we do.
Which is not very common for a drag queen. Like drag queens are like beautiful from afar, you know? Beautiful from afar with the spotlight. Like if you squint your eyes, you go, oh my God, she looks really pretty, you know? But you know, with drag, it's always kind of like, don't come too close, girl. Like, because then we're going to reveal all our secrets. But I've always wanted to be that drag queen, like, because like doing drag in general, like going drag to see drag shows, like I'd always get like, collect $1 from Raven really slowly and like study her makeup. And I always found it really fascinating that she would take her time to be seen, you know? And so I've always taken a long time to get ready because I want people to experience that up close experience of drag as well. I mean, that's just how I build my brand. That's how I enjoy doing my makeup. That's part of what makes me Valentina, I suppose, is that I really enjoy the process, and the process is long. Usually I'm usually the first person to wake up and the last person to go to sleep in general for everything in my life. And it's been like that since I was like 11 years old. I've been waking up really early.
11-year-old Valentina. I would die to meet 11-year-old Valentina.
I was waking up at 4:30 a.m. every day to go to performing arts school in Hollywood. 4:30 a.m. Sometimes going to sleep at 11, 12, had homework, had rehearsals. And it was that sacrifice that I would make to go to performing arts school. So like I've always been in this kind of like process of like waking up super early and making sacrifices for my life. To
see, this is what I mean. So like when people see people like Valentina, like myself, or whoever, and they're like, they're just lucky and they got on Drag Race and that's why they're like, no, like the fucking 10, because they talk about these artists doing 10,000 hours of anything to like to arrive at your craft, right? That goes into that 10,000 hours is your whole high school career. Waking up at that time in the morning, going to rehearsals, doing the shows, like all that has contributed to the artists that y'all see today. So when you see, oh, she just got lucky and she got on Drag Race, that's why she's famous. No, bitch. It is a long time coming. It is a long time of like working things out and sacrificing to get to these points that we have gotten in our careers, which I think is very fab. And I love that. I love that part of artistry. Like I went to art school in Manhattan and like I was always in rehearsals. When people were on spring break, I was doing choir tours like and on a shitty yellow cheese bus driving up and down the East Coast, sitting up straight for overnight so we get to the next city. Like all that contributes to the artistry, darling.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. How was that experience for you?
It was good. Like I loved, like I think that's where I found like my love for like classical music, because we did like lots of anthems and spirituals, and that's how I like discovered that I liked singing differently. Like I was, because you know, spirituals and stuff, they're not, you know, they're very adjacent to classical music, and that's where I found my love for that first, and that's why I went into college. And so I'm really grateful for those experiences that taught me about this new type of music that all my friends thought was corny and not cool, but I was like, I like it. And then, you know, now it's come full circle in my career again, where I'm doing stuff with orchestras and symphonies. I'm doing classical music now again. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's the humble beginnings that, connecting with that inner child, or just like kind of coming full circle, with your life. It's those things, those challenges that, they make part of your success, right? Like I definitely know that I can tolerate all the ins and outs and the madness of this industry because I was that dedicated 11-year-old that was waking up at 4:30 a.m. to go and make these things happen for myself. Yeah. So it's definitely a blessing, right? To have those things.
Let's take a little break. Then we're gonna talk about that promo again because I Valentina put out. We're gonna go back to that. When it comes to doing things around the house these days, we can be slackers, okay? I'm guilty. I am that girl sometimes. So when you're given the choice between doing something fun or cleaning the litter box, I want to do that. There's something fun to do, like go see Beyonce or whatever, something other than cleaning the litter box. So that's why I love Pretty Litter. Nothing beats Pretty Litter's ability to instantly trap odor. It's ultra absorbent, it's lightweight, it's low dust, and 1 6-pound bag works for up to a month without clumping. That means no more wasting that litter, girl. And if that wasn't enough, Pretty Litter ships right to your door. You don't have to go to no store, put no heavy bag in your cart, push it down the aisle, carry down the escalator, carry it to your car, none of that. It goes right to your door. Goals, brilliant. Pretty Litter has the best litter I've ever used, and you'll love it too. Go to prettylitter.com/rivalry and use code rivalry to save 20% on your first order. That's prettylitter.com/rivalry, code rivalry to save 20% on your first order. prettylitter.com/rivalry, code rivalry. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details. Now, I know you may think a credit score is no big deal, but you're wrong. Because if you're dealing with a low credit score or no credit at all, that could be a problem with your future financial goals, girl. A car, a house. I don't want it. A car, a house, and the kids. I want it all. Who is that? I think it's Genuine. That's why millions of people swear by Chime's secured credit builder Visa credit card. Credit Builder is just a better way to build your credit. You build your credit score safely with everyday purchases and on-time payments. Plus, there's no annual fee or credit check to get started.
With Chime checking account, you can get paid up to 2 days earlier with a qualifying direct deposit. You can get access to your money sooner. Chime offers fee-free overdrafts with SpotMe. Overdrafts up to $200 without fees with SpotMe when you set up a qualifying direct deposit. Just set up a qualifying direct deposit. Sign up for SpotMe, and Chime will spot you up to your limit when you make a purchase that exceeds your balance.
Ditch the monthly fees. Chime has no monthly minimum balance or overdraft fees. Chime gives you access to 60,000 plus fee-free ATMs. That's more than the top 3 national banks combined. You can easily find one near you with the Chime app. With Chime, you can send and receive money, pay friends through Chime, no matter what bank account they use, and cash out your money fee-free. Start building your credit up. Open a Chime checking account with at least a $200 qualifying direct deposit to get started. Get started at chime.com/rivalry. That's chime.com/rivalry. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A., member FDIC. Chime checking account and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. The other day, my friend had tried to cancel their subscription, and it took them like multiple different tries how to do it. And like, it should only take like 1 minute. That's not sickening, mama.
That's why I love using Rocket Money. I use it. It helps me track all of my expenses, and because of it, I no longer waste money on subscriptions I don't even use. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money will quickly and easily find your subscriptions for you, and for any that you don't want or don't use anymore, just hit cancel and Rocket Money will cancel them for you. It really is that easy. Rocket Money also helps you manage all your finances in one place and automatically categorizes your expenses so you can easily track your budget in real time and also get alerted if anything looks a little funky. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/rivalry.
That's rocketmoney.com/rivalry. Rocketmoney.com/rivalry. quip.com/rivalry.
I am always on the road, and finding a good travel toothbrush that's high quality and affordable is very, very difficult. Most electric toothbrushes are big, they're bulky, they're clunky, they take up so much space, and I'm so glad that I found the perfect, lightweight, and effective travel toothbrush. Now, the Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 9 million mouths. Time sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide a dentist-recommended 2-minute clean. A lightweight and sleek design for adults and kids with no wires or bulky chargers to weigh you down. A multi-use travel cover that doubles as a mirror mount for less clutter. Reusable handles and a range of sleek metal hues as well as bright plastic colors are sure to make a pop of design on your bathroom counter. Skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with a new rechargeable electric toothbrush. All the features of the original Quip plus 1 magnetic charge that powers up to 3 months of brushing. On top of brushing, you can upgrade your Quip with a smart motor too. Track and improve your brushing with the free Quip app. Earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and much, much more. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from as little as $7. With stylish and affordable electric brushes starting at just $25, you won't be paying through the teeth for better oral health. If you go to quip.com/rivalry right now, you get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint, gum dispenser, or water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint, gum dispenser, or water flosser at quip.com/rivalry, spelled GETQUIP.com/rivalry. Quip, the good habits company.
So we're back. So we're on set for this promo, and it's the shot, y'all, at the end of the promo when they see all of us on all 10 of us together. And then it was because our season randomly was airing during Christmas. Like we started like early December, our season airing. So it was like this whole winter or like Christmas kind of theme promo. And there's a line that we had to sing, "All Hail RuPaul." But some girls were like, absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying "All Hail RuPaul." That is demonic. I will not be saying that. And I was like, whatever. Like I said it. I don't remember who said or who did it. I think I remember, but I don't know if I'm making it up, some people who didn't. But I don't want to speak on other people's experiences. I can say for me, I did sing it. I didn't think it was weird.
I mean, I definitely find it really interesting, and I definitely find it something that is very combative for lots of people. There's a lot of different people from many different walks of life that maybe that won't set well with most people. You know, there's people of different religions that practice chants and prayer and whatever it is, and to say "All Hail RuPaul." Like I'm totally fine saying "Oh mother," or the mother of drag, but now get me saying "All Hail RuPaul." That's definitely interesting. That's definitely interesting. Like whether I'm for it, whether I'm against it, it's interesting as a standing alone like piece. If you put her in the center of the room and you make a bunch of people like, are you going to say this? It's definitely going to be a controversial topic, right?
For sure.
And in that moment, it was our job to do whatever they said. Yes. But I mean, it's funny. I think it's silly. I think it's so silly. And at the end of the day, like, we experienced it, we lived it. And oh well, like, it's silly. It's just, move on. Yeah. But back to being on set all day. Like, it wasn't like people were sitting around waiting for me. It was just like, well, there's this many of us, then I might as well luxuriate and take my time.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. I think it was really cool how we all brought our outfits together. Doing those promo shoots, it's always really long hours, but it's those moments where we actually get to all be together as a cast, and we get to produce work without competing, and we kind of get to be in each other's realm to be able to help each other without being in a competitive mode. I think those those moments I really cherish. Like when we have to, you know, be in a position where we're like, damn, this picture is just going to be the picture that everybody uses for the next 2 years. And
2 years,
for every fucking flyer that I go to. So this picture better be correct, you know? So yeah.
I mean, and now, bitch, you're hosting your own fucking franchise. Like, I mean, that is the ultimate flex to me, the ultimate serve to a show that you were on to now hosting your own fucking franchise. I mean, I remember when they were talking about that Drag Race, you know, because you always hear like rumblings of, oh, they're going to do Drag Race Mexico next. And we're like, okay. And we're like, and I mean, among especially Ru girls, and I think the fans too were like, the obvious person will be Valentina. It's like, if Valentina is not hosting it, it would be wild.
Oh my goodness. I know. It's so exciting. Have you seen it? Have you tuned in to season 1? I watched the first 2
episodes.
Okay.
I watched the first 2 episodes. But because Bob and I watch the regular season for Drag Race. We just finished All Stars, whatever this is finished. So we give ourselves a break before we drive back in again because we have to dive back into regular season on December 10th. So I think maybe we can do it for Watchery. We'll watch all of yours for Watchery and talk about it.
Oh my God, yes, please. I mean, it's a body of work that I'm really, really proud of. I had an amazing team putting me together
the looks.
I really appreciate their art and their talent, because without them I wouldn't be able to deliver my lines, which was a big challenge for me entering the Spanish-speaking world. Yeah, as a host, fully in Spanish, that was a big challenge for me as a Chicana. You know, I'm born in California, and I'm now taking this position to host, or co-host rather, with Lolita Banana,
with Lolita, yes,
my co-host, and we have such a chemistry, and we built our relationship before everything happened. We were out there in London and in Paris building a chemistry and building what you guys could see on TV, which is a really beautiful relationship that we do have, because we really wanted to go into all of this having that chemistry and having that ability to be on set and to be holding each other's hand, like underneath the table, making sure that we held each other up, you know, catched each other in a moment of opportunity, you know? So, I'm very proud of it. And I definitely want everybody to tune in. You know, I really loved having done it. I loved having been a part of pop culture, queer culture for Mexico, which is something that I've been working on for like 7 years now. It's building my name in Mexico and in Spanish. So very grateful for the opportunity. And I use this platform with you to even congratulate our winners. We have 3 winners. We have our winner of the show season 1.
I'm going to do this. I don't want to spoilers. I want to watch this. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. We have
go ahead.
Our winner, Cristian Peralta. And we have our Miss Congeniality, Lady Quero. And we have the first official fan favorite of the franchise. It was a fan favorite award given by TikTok to Matraca. So I congratulate my girls and I wish them all the best of luck. And to all my girls from season 1, my historical first season of Drag Race Mexico, I love them with all my heart. Thank you so much to those girls for having contributed their love and their art with us. And I really do hope that you tune in and watch the rest of the episodes, Monet.
Well, you know, Bob and I, we did a Spanish speaking teleprompter challenge, and I bodied it. I did way better than Bob. So if you guys are ever looking for a Miss Congeniality correspondent, I would love to tune in and give some words of encouragement to the girls next season.
Oh, absolutely. You're definitely a lot more congenial than I am, huh? Like, and let's talk about that, because I was given a Miss Congeniality award in private on a closed set with no fans. And I was supposed to be grateful for it. And usually,
why not?
because Miss Congeniality is given in front of a live audience. It's always been you were able to receive the applause of the people that were there. A lot of these girls that have won Miss Congeniality, they get the applause from the people that gave it to them and the people that are there. I would like for everybody to consider that my Miss Congeniality was given to me the day after we recorded the live audience taping, and I had a very long standing ovation, and then was announced as Miss Congeniality on a closed set with all these girls. And it was a show within a show.
Oh, girl. I mean, the season 9 reunion is so good. It's so good.
And so then I'm Miss Congeniality or fan favorite. Fan favorite. And then, I had to go and do my reign as Miss Congeniality. I had to be like, this is a responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And then once my year was over, I was like, I'm going to denounce this. I'm the fan favorite.
Work.
And so, that's definitely interesting. But now there's a fan favorite award, girl. Now there's an official fan favorite award.
Another door Valentina has opened for the Drag Race multiverse.
Well, I really love it. I love that drag is in its golden era. Like, we are literally in the golden era of drag and in the golden era of television in general.
Yeah.
And the way that the two have merged and taken like center stage for queerness, it's awesome. It's super amazing. I'm just hoping that drag like really starts to broaden so much more, so that we like give so much more opportunity to everybody else in our community. The drag kings, like, it's their time. Like, can we like highlight that now? Like,
yeah, right. Like, do we think that the era is gonna like? Are we afraid that it's gonna like close soon? Like, are we in like the peak and then we're gonna see decline? I'm like, no, because in my opinion, I hope not, because I feel like there's so much more that we can offer art and TV and film. People just take more time to understand our creativity and our fucking entertainment prowess. I think there's so much more. I'm hoping that we're not peaking. I'm hoping that this goes longer and people see more of it and make us a part of more things. I really hope so.
I really do hope so too. But whatever goes up must come down.
I know.
And like, it's our responsibility to take everything forward with our careers. And both you and I, we've gone and ventured in separate ways and separate directions. And what our contributions are, it's like if we're all this huge circle coming in and we all kind of bring together this, we're like these drag superheroes that are kind of like broadening and opening doors for everybody behind us. And I think it's really awesome. I'm really honored to have that caliber of opportunity and platform like Drag Race in Mexico to do that. And it's really awesome. I definitely love being present right now and living in the moment, and living in the golden era of drag in the moment is something that I really am enjoying, and I really do appreciate in the moment.
I'm trying to do that more. Be in the moment. I think sometimes I obsess and even like day-to-day stuff, like gigs. I'm like thinking about like what's next. I'm like, no, bitch, just take in this moment. Like, I just did this show last night in Chicago, my one-man show. I'm like, I should take that and not worry about the tour that I want to do with it next. Like, I need to fucking savor the moment more. Thank you for saying that. I'm going to make myself do that more. Savor the flavor, be in the moment. Just enjoy the thing happening right now. Y'all too, listening to this, do that. It's very important.
Yeah, and enjoy all the drag you guys are seeing on television right now. It wasn't always this way, and I think a lot of people like to complain about, I didn't like this or I didn't like that. I'm like, we are in a place where we have it. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
So I definitely think being present in the golden era and having contributed or been a part of it is such an honor and such a treat. It's such a treat.
I want to go back to Drag Race Mexico a little bit.
Okay.
So these looks. Tell me about these looks. First of all, the same people who are making clothes for Beyonce are making Valentina's clothes in Mexico. Tell me about these looks. Are you because I know that you, even on All Stars 4, you were very involved in your looks. Like when you did your Atelier one and the flower, like you're very like, this is my vision. You go with the designers, you craft them perfectly to you. Tell me about your Drag Race Mexico looks, because we are all want to know about how they came into fruition.
Thank you so much. Well, I come armed with an incredible, talented team. In this venture of my career, I wanted to go at it in a way where the visuals were saying things before ever I did. And I wanted to touch base on Mexico. I wanted to touch base on the things that make up the identity of my image. I wanted to, touch some things in the past and some queer, some Mexican icons. And right now I have very, very amazing network in the fashion world and the beauty world. And so I wanted to utilize that network. And it all kind of started with my creative director, best friend, Ali Daniel Flores, who helped me with all the looks. He has Olmos y Flores. All my looks were produced, well, mainly all of them. I would say maybe 90% were produced and made in Guadalajara, in Mexico.
Wow, word.
By my friends of Olmos y Flores, and made by hand with an entire team. And going through the looks and creating an evolution very closely with my friend Ali was something that we had so much fun doing. One of the looks is Georgia Sobeca, and I was modeling for my life in Paris. I walked in a couture show, and part of the agreement...
I remember you looked so beautiful.
Thank you.
You were so pretty. When I see you post these things on Instagram, I'm like, because you know me, I'm zooming. I'm like... And I'd be sitting there this girl is you look so beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And my friends over in Paris, Jad, wanted me in their show, and that was a big honor. And I'd asked them, for Drag Race, I'm like, mi amor, I'm going to go film this show. Would you make me a dress, please? And he said, yes, babe, or whatever. And so he ended up gifting me this dress that I ended up doing this blue look with. I don't know if you've seen it.
So good. Yes. I've seen all the looks. The blue one, we're going to talk about Ernesto too, because I'm obsessed with his work. Yes. Anyway. Yeah.
So that's so with Ali, even then, I told Ali, we need to make something with this look. He's like, yeah, absolutely. This is super cool. And so the evolution of how we built the looks was in private, in my home, for hours and hours, just sitting and manifesting and dreaming. And then it's the shopping of the materials, and then bringing together mood boards. And then obviously my makeup team was really remarkable, because I have two Emmy Award-winning makeup artist, Luscious Massacre and Ernesto Casillas. And so during the I would say the first third of filming, Luscious was there. And then for the last bit, Ernesto took over. And so all of those things went in hand with the looks, with the direction of Ali's suggestion, but also the main source of inspiration always being me and what I've built since the beginning, and then involving either Mexican icons or just there's an entire YouTube series that Ali made where he goes through all the information of this, and I hope you guys tune in to see that. But then with Ali's creative direction, we then went into creating makeup looks, and then having mood boards for that, and referencing just like how I draw my eyebrows or how I do my eyeliner or how,
which is also iconic. You put you started the lines. No one did it before you.
Yeah. So it's like the panini brow and the spiky eyelashes and the circle lens. And then the thing that people fell in love with, right? And I was like telling, Ernesto and Luscious, is like, we got to give people what they're asking for. They're so tired of me doing this, like, lip gloss and mascara kind of look. They're so over it. And the people want what the people want, how they fell in love with me. And we're going to give it to them. And so, we made that, a big like detail. But like when I'm in the workroom, like I'm fully giving like myself, like, which is like browless and like using my natural hair and just throwing on a corset and wearing clothes that's more ready to wear. Right. Yeah. And then for the main stage, like throwing on, the lift tapes and the lace wig in a different color, and to kind of really transform to like another level and to wear things that are not as ready to wear, more haute couture, and so Luscious doing my makeup was so much fun because each episode we're like building and there's like an evolution and we're improving on the brow shape. We're improving on what works, what doesn't work. And then my hair was done by two people as well, because I have my homegirl, Wally, who's now doing, she's on tour with Dana Paola. She's a Mexican pop star. She's a very, very big deal. Very beautiful. She was actually on our first season. And so she's doing hair for her, but she was doing, she did all my hair for the workroom, and then some of the hair looks where she used my natural hair for the runways as well. And she was installing all my wigs. All my wigs were made by Jean-Baptiste in Paris. So when I was
been making your wigs for a while now, like all your custom front.
Well, no, I'm new to working with him. When I went to go get this Georges Hobeika dress, like I hit him up and I was like, I'm going to be doing this. Would you like to do my hair? He's like, yes, absolutely. And he actually ended up coming all the way out to Colombia in Bogota to bring me the wigs. I flew him out and I got him a hotel and like we did some fittings and we navigated through that. And, I'm just so happy to be in a place with my career where I can make those kinds of decisions and make those things happen and have the flawless, TV lace and have the custom hairline and have somebody so brilliant and so talented from so far away bring their talent to the to my art. Right. And I just love what, Wally, what she did with my natural hair, like how she styled my hair, but also all the while, like putting heat protector and making sure to take care of my beauty so that I'm not just like frying my hair every day for a month. And then like
at the end, they're like, okay, girl, we're done. Yeah, just in there looking just cold, like,
and, Luscious being there and her speaking Spanish and like her sense of humor, like would rub off on me on set to like, really like get me in the mood and the sense of humor. And then my friend Ernesto, who is somebody that has known me for a very, very long time.
Really? So you knew Ernesto before he was doing Kelly Rowland?
Yes.
Work.
Yes. Me and Ernesto, like we came up together. Like
work.
When
he's so handsome.
Yeah, he is very handsome, very talented, very sweet, very loving. But when I first came out, like Ernesto was one of my first queer friends.
Oh, work.
So like, we've definitely come up together in the industry, and having my team with me there was definitely a big treat. Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, because you are someone who's so particular about your makeup. How do you find, well, you just told me like you and Ernesto know each other for a long time, so I see that. But I think my problem with someone else doing my makeup, I cannot feel comfortable enough like being done and not looking like me. But every time you get someone to do your makeup, you look like you. You don't look like someone else did your face. You look like you. And I cannot find that trust with someone. I don't know how I'm going to find, because I would like to pay someone to do my makeup for some gigs, but I'm like, then I won't look like me.
I think it's really about having built a signature face, and I think any talented makeup artist is going to respect what you've created and is going to study the reference, and the reference being you, right?
Yeah.
I would suggest things like, like build your brow, suggest the products, that work for you.
Okay.
But also have a lot of trust in the talent that people offer, which is something that you're not skilled at. So like when I'm an expert in drag makeup, right? Like I wanted to open up myself to the possibility of beauty, just natural beauty makeup, which my friend Ernesto is Emmy award winning, very talented, paints the most successful stars of the world. So there's a lot for me to learn from that. No matter how good I am at my drag makeup, like I need to position myself in a place where I am learning and growing, and I sit in the chair to learn from that experience. Now, are there moments where a very talented makeup artist is going to maybe learn from me as well? Yes. So then I think it's that balance of learning to kind of do this dance between, it's like, okay, let's do this hybrid collaboration between the extremes of my drag and the artistry of your beauty work. What is the beautiful dance or balance between both of us? That is where we're going to find the art and expressing something that's never been seen. So I think that's the excitement and the way that you build the relationship with the person that's going to do your makeup, and the preparation between, what foundation are we going to go for? How are we going to block the brow? How are we going to, get the undertones? Like those conversations are really important to walk into it. And as drag queens, like sometimes the responsibilities of our life is so much bigger than just looking pretty. We have to learn our lines. We have to remember choreography. We have to have a really nice personality. So as I've navigated through this industry, I've tried to find people around me that are willing to just go along with the craziness of this industry and be there with me, take care of me, but also have fun at the same time.
Girl. No sticks in the mud.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find people that are gonna work with the madness of this industry, and how one day you can be on set with like all the professionalism in the world and, the fancy craft services. And the next day you could be in the corner of a closet, like, painting your makeup in a dingy little light. So like having people around you that know the way that life is not always fair, and that they're willing to be a part of that is something that I think is also really important, And luckily with like someone like Ernesto or Luscious or Wally, like we have this relationship where like it's guaranteed the art is going to be amazing. But I'm also looking for like an environment where that makes me feel like I have a piece of home with me.
The French vanilla fantasy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have so much fun collaborating, and we create so much art. And I love that we're getting to talk about this, because a lot of what's happening nowadays is like, it's their work. You got what I mean? Like, it's their talent that I benefit from, and I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, so I just said it really quick. So the French vanilla fantasy. So we're on set for All-Star Score, and every time Val would get a PA or something, or she'd make it herself, or a PA would bring her coffee, they had to make sure they added the French vanilla fantasy to Val's coffee, or else Val was not drinking the coffee. Can you tell us about the French vanilla fantasy, Valentina?
Well, the French vanilla fantasy is more so a self-care ceremony more than anything. To feel the French vanilla fantasy is to do whatever it takes possible to have like a little energy, or to be lost in a dimension that's other than the reality of being on set and having no fucking sleep. Like asking for a French vanilla fantasy is literally the only thing that would make it all feel better, because it'll pick me up, it'll make me go into a dimension of not being so tired, because like when we're on set, we are exhausted, sometimes sleeping 1 hour, sometimes sleeping 2 hours, sometimes not sleeping at all because of our anxiety. Like, and then we go on set and we're expected to be like super refreshed, you know, and like what a lot of people don't know is that like maybe we're doing a confessional and it's 8 a.m, 9 a.m, but
Yeah.
you know what the TV show that you guys are watching is, you know, something that people are living at like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's like 7 o'clock in the morning for us talking about it's a new day in the workroom.
Yeah.
And girl, I just need to, you're like, when you,
with the PAs and with the French vanilla fantasy, it was a moment of self-care. It was a moment of saying, I'm going to indulge in this warm French vanilla flavored coffee to make me feel comforted, to make me feel awake, to make me feel like this is silly and fun, and to kind of distract me from the reality of how exhausting it was, you know?
Yeah.
And so the French vanilla fantasy became a way for me to just kind of be like, this is fun. I want to do this. I love drag. This is great. This is going to be great. Because ultimately, I do love drag. I do love the opportunity that I was in. But sometimes you just have to learn to push beyond and through the exhaustion, you know, which is not 100% the reality of what I have to offer as an artist, as a drag queen, as a television star. So my French vanilla fantasy took me very far because it helped me disengage from the exhaustion and bring forth the fantasy, you know, from where? From a dungeon of I don't know where, because I've not slept. But this French vanilla fantasy ceremony is going to take me far.
And it has the fans, like, still today, they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, girl, you look fierce in the meet and greet. I'm like, you look good. I'm like, yeah, I'm just feeling my French vanilla fantasy. I'm like, I love it. More Valentina lingo that has imparted on these kids. It's hilarious to me. I love it.
Yeah. And the French vanilla fantasy is really like, just step into that alternate reality bubble where everything is amazing, and like go into your inner child where you just to play in imagination and you saw things a lot more beautiful and amazing than they really were. You know, those things for me have been like survival mechanisms that have been so crucial for my life as a person of color, as a working class person that has been trying to climb the ladder, as a person that has been working in this industry. Like, you kind of have to create survival mechanisms because it's not going to be easy, you know? For sure. So feeling the French vanilla fantasy is really about going there in this alternate world that makes you happy, which might not always coincide with the reality of other people.
Girl.
But, you know, in my French vanilla fantasy, things are very different from how everybody else navigates and describes their life.
Well, before you go, we do have a little game that we want to play, right? So I'm going to name these Drag Race spin-off franchises, and you tell me who you think you should host. Who would you choose to host?
Okay.
So let's say Drag Race New York. Who would be the host of Drag Race New York?
Drag Race New York. Lady Bunny or Shaquita Hall?
Shaquita Hall would be a great host for Drag Race New York. I love that. Great. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. Mm-hmm. Lady Bunny is too kooky. Lady Bunny would be a mess. She could be like maybe a Michelle or like honestly a Carson. We need her every other episode. We cannot have her every week. It'll be too much. But Shaquita, that's a good one. Drag Race LA.
Me.
You go. Well, RuPaul does 3. You could do 2.
You know, I want to have multiple gigs a year, and I will give it to myself. Give it to myself. Are you shocked?
No, I'm not. Not at all. Okay, Drag Race Atlantis. Fantasy season.
Like like under the water.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want to do that one too. But who would give? Like maybe somebody like Juno Birch.
Ooh. Well, I think she'd be appropriate for this one. Drag Race Mars. That would be Juno Birch.
No. How dare you? The disrespect. That is for Tammy Brown.
Oh, right. Right.
Teletubbies teleport us to Mars. That has Tammy Brown's name all over it because she is out of this world.
She really is. I did one gig with Tammy Brown in the UK. We were on a tour together. And she was so lovely. I love working with Tammy Brown, actually. She's very fun.
And she would be the first queen to represent an entire planet.
Honestly, which is fierce. Fierce, fierce, fierce. What about Drag Race Hell? Who's hosting Drag Race Hell?
Definitely Sharon Needles.
Sharon Needles. My pick for Drag Race Hell.
Definitely Sharon Needles is the girl for that.
I don't think I've said this story before, but Kim and a bunch of us, we were doing Work the World, Asia, Australia, and Sharon was on that tour. And we're going through the Sydney airport because we're going from Sydney to Tokyo, I think. And then so we're in the airport, and then Kim is in the Gucci store at the Sydney airport, like looking through stuff, like trying to buy stuff. Sharon walks into the Gucci store behind Kim and just starts yelling, she's stealing her,
No.
she's stealing. And Kim was like, what? Wait, no, I'm not. And then Sharon was like, she's stealing, and she just walks out the store.
No.
Unhinged, girl, crazy. Kim was so mad. It was wild, but that's just everyone has a Sharon Needles story from tour or something. The girl is
that
nuts.
woman is fully uninhibited and unhinged.
Well,
one time she told me, Valentina, and I said, what? She was like, people have no idea how punk rock you are. You are so punk rock. And I just was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I don't know what to say about that, but thank you. She's like, yeah. I still don't know what it really means, but I said thank you. And I was just like, okay.
One of my favorite stories Bob tells about you. It is so funny. When you were he was on Work the World, y'all on Work the World together. And you were leaving to do a gig. It was like a TV gig. It was a big opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then, and you told Brandon, you was like, I have to leave the tour. And it was like, he was like, wait, it's not for a few months. You're like, no, I have to leave now. I had to start getting ready. And then Bob was like, you went to every girl and you handed it. It was like, Kim, this is my earring. I'm going to leave this with you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I am obsessed. Valentina, you are so iconic. And but the thing is, you know you're iconic and we know you're iconic. And that's why we all agree. And I just love you so much. You're so great.
Well, I'm just really big about like legacy and leaving a sign that I was here. And when I left All Stars, I left everybody a signed 8x10.
I still have that 8x10.
Nobody asked for it. But I know you want it. Even if I know, and the thing is, like, even if someone doesn't like me, the fact that they have that is iconic. You get what I mean? And I want to come through this earth being an entity, and I want to be something that lives forever. And you leave your legacy not in just things, but you also leave it in people. And so if you gift them something, maybe with your picture on it, maybe it's an excuse to always live on in the hearts of people, or to be a story or something. And I just left Work the World and gifted everybody a piece of me because I was really leaving. And, I felt really bad because I was really excited about where I was going to go in the direction of my career and my life. And I kind of promised myself that I wouldn't look back, not because I didn't want to return, but just because Work the World was such a happy time in my life where I was looking for community. I was looking for sisterhood. And that's why I did it, because I'd only been on tour by myself, no assistant for years. And I was searching for sisterhood. Once I experienced it, once I had it, like, it stays in like this capsule. And if I do revisit it ever in the future, which I'm totally open to it, but it's not something that my heart desires as if it's the priority to experience that in my body. Yeah. I've already experienced it. So having gifted somebody like you guys, like a piece of me, was like solidifying that, like, I'm kind of turning the page, towards a different direction. And I remember having like a long conversation with Bob about that, and I was ultimately invited to Work the World again. And, there's open opportunity to go to Las Vegas, and the thing is like, I'm not shooting it down. It's just like, there's so many things that I'm like challenged by artistically right now, there's so many responsibilities, like for me to be of service, even, you know, in Mexico, that I'm focused in on. Like I'm also entering kind of like a humanitarian era of my work. So like I definitely appreciate the whole work the world moments in my life, because there is so much unsaid of what happened in those experiences that are like, they can make up a movie, they can make up a series, it can make up a multi-universe of experiences. And I'm very honored. But like when I did leave that tour, I left knowing that I wanted my entire life and career to go in a different direction, and gladly it did. And then Bob in the end sent me a message fairly recently and said, wow, you did it. Like Word. You really did do it.
I just got chills on that. I just got goosebumps.
Because the conversation with Bob was like, no, like, don't leave the tour. Like, stick it out. Like, you might regret this. Like, and I remember telling Bob, like, you know, Bob, like, I really want to go and prepare for this next job. And I really want to put my full energy into that. And I want to look forward and not look back. And it's nothing personal. It's just something I really want to make happen for myself, because I want a long-lasting career. I don't just want a drag career where it's like I did season 9 and then I just kind of fade into the background. Like I want a career, a long-lasting career. Yeah. He's like, well, we all want a career, and you know, it's not easy. You know, I've been doing this for years, and I say these things for you with experience. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But then fast forward to now, like Bob has told me, like, bitch, you fucking did it. Like from that moment that we had that conversation, like you really made it happen for yourself. And reflecting on those conversations and having that sisterhood from the work the world experience, like I'm so appreciative of, you know. But yeah, like it's been a roller coaster of emotions and this experience. Yeah. Like I've now done 7 years of being in this boat of fame.
I'm 6. Yeah. I mean, but I want to know, like, what are you up to lately? Like, what have you been up to, girl?
Well, right now I am in full recovery healing mode from an injury. I was hard at work in Mexico City. I was promoting Drag Race, and I was preparing a performance for Mexico City at the Zócalo, like in the center of all of Mexico City. So I had promotion all day, and then I would go rehearse all night for like 3 weeks. And so,
ooh, girl,
being in my heels for everything, for all of it, and then the hours of rehearsal, like I injured my foot, and so I was diagnosed with bursitis, bitch.
What the hell is that?
Bursitis is like inflammation of like a joint. You get fluid like between like two bones, like in the cartilage or the ligaments, so that they don't touch together. And being that I'm fully elevated in a 6-inch heel doing my choreography, like I never wear like a little chicken nugget heel or a little Capizio heel that you could point your foot in. Like I've always worn like a stiletto, like a real stiletto, and I've performed chassé in a stiletto. Okay. Yeah. So after so much rehearsal, I ended up causing like an injury. So I've been recovering, and the doctor told me like to be off of my feet for 3 weeks. So I've been recovering from that. That's been very hard on me, because it's like, you know, I'm taking a break. I took my nails off, not wearing heels. Like I haven't been exercising. So that's definitely been interesting, but it's been really nice because I've been cuddled up with my cat, Monchi. I know you have a cat. We're both cat ladies.
I know my favorite cat girls. Let me tell you something. People, again, no shade to dog lovers. Dogs are great, but something about a cat. I just love a cat because they choose when they want to love you. They're not easy to love. Like they don't just take anything. No. You got to work for that affection, and I love. And when your cat fucking loves you, they love you, and I love it.
Yeah, they're so special and so sweet. They have such ways that they navigate their life a little bit like a drag queen, you know?
Like a drag queen?
Yeah, they're like, only when I want.
Okay, fair. I see that. I see that.
Very much so. Like, like definitely being home with Monchi has been a total treat. Like, he's a Persian cat. and he's super poofy and super cuddly.
Yes.
But the moment he gets over me, he'll like walk away and like be a diva and like be with me, but like facing another direction, like giving me his back.
God,
like
that part,
the little catitude, like literally the catitude. And
yes,
I kid you not, like my cat could literally just turn its neck one way, and I'm already like, that was amazing. Like my cat could just do one side, like, and I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing. Somebody get that on camera. Like, it's just been such a treat. Like being with Monchi just makes me so happy. So, but I've also been just gathering a lot of plans for my future. I'm entering my humanitarian era. So I'm working with the Travel Project. I'm working on a project called Mujeres Libres, where we're liberating women that are like wrongfully incarcerated in Mexico.
Okay, word.
You know, I worked with the Hispanic Federation, which then led me to meet people at the Trans Latina Coalition and the Travel Project in Mexico. And I'm just entering this new realm where I'm just wanting to contribute my time with my platform towards something that feels good, you know, because a lot of this career has been a whole lot of diva, a whole lot of attention, and a whole lot of privileges and all this and all that. But I want to start giving back. Like I feel the need to do that with my platform. Because after a while, like being so privileged and having all these opportunities, you have to be able to do something with it. So I've definitely been working on those things along the way. And but recovering from that foot injury, girl, I'm like, not bursitis. The name of it is so fucking ugly.
Your name is so ugly. I'm like, girl,
it's a drag name. Somebody should call themselves bursitis.
Bursitis. Bursitis foot.
Uh-huh.
She's definitely she's a Brooklyn drag queen. Very bursitis foot. I know her. I've seen one before. Work. Well, Val, listen, I am and always will be in constant awe of you as an individual, as a drag queen, as a personality, as everything. I really think you are truly, and I've said this on the podcast before in different interviews, I'm just in love with you as a human being, as a person. You really are that girl, and I'm obsessed with you. And so thank you so much for coming out and doing the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Well, I love you too. I love you very much. I respect and honor the things that you and Bob do with your career, representing the Black community and being so talented and so ambitious and being those girls that are go-getters with their life. It's so inspiring. It's so important, and it's so uplifting. Like as a girl of color, the opportunities come harder.
Yeah, they do.
And the way that you guys navigate it.
Thank you, sister.
In this world that is not built for us, we find ways to push beyond and push further. And all my love, respect, and admiration for you too. And thanks for having me here. It's definitely been an honor. And I really hope that there could be more of this. Like, I'm so excited for you to even see the whole season of Drag Race Mexico season 1. And when you guys do like a review of it, please call me back.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, y'all comment below. Should we review Drag Race Mexico? Comment below. Let us know, and we'll do it. Y'all know it. We always request. We always listen to y'all's requests and finish it out. I think that could be really fun, and a chance to get Valentina back on the pod.
Oh my God!
And
yes,
also
please.
Lola, I would love to have her too, as well.
Of course, Lolita Banana. We should tell her.
Yeah.
I'll text her.
Yeah, I would love to have her as well. Okay, my dear, be safe, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, mi amor. Take care. Love you. Bye, everyone.